that Jesus Christ is the Good Shepherd. Isn't this awesome? We've got the recreation here in Nazareth of what it may have been like at the time of Jesus' birth and childhood. We've got the sheep here. They're actually eating off of these olive trees. You have a 400-year-old olive tree right here in the background. We've got our Good Shepherd right here. And this is just really cool what they've put together here. They've just finished explaining that this is a threshing floor. And what they would do is they would bundle up all the wheat and they'd bring it here and they'd want to separate the wheat from the chaff. And so what they would do is, this is a threshing board with sharp stones, and they'd tie this up to the donkey, have them trample on this all day, and then they would take their winning fork or the fan and they would toss it up into the air, and the long stalks of chaff would fly away, but the kernels would fall to the ground so that it could be gathered up and stored for the winter. So we're out here and we're looking at an olive press, and there's a specific process that you have to go through to extract the oil from the olive, and that begins here with a millstone and a turntable and a donkey. And if I were that donkey, you can see that through some leverage, you can turn this great millstone, and what it will do is it will crush the olive. And the olive is made up of water, oil, and pulp. And what they'll do is they use the millstone to crush, because a lot of the oil is in the seed. They have to break it down with the weight of the millstone. And they use these bags right here, and they scoop up all the pulp, and they put them in there. The pulp is then taken over here, and it is stacked up here. Now, just the pure weight of the olives on top of each other, under the weight of this log, will actually secrete both the water and the oil that will drip down underneath to be separated. That's the first pressing. That's what would be used in the holy temples or for ritual rites, because it's known as the best or the purest. That's pure virgin oil, not extra. Then what would happen is that this would be released and would put weight down for a second pressing, and then a third pressing is each of these stones weighs 800 kilos, and by pulling this down, it ratchets another 800 kilos worth of weight on top of the oil. So 3 pressings separating the olive oil, the water. And if you think about the life of Jesus Christ, when his great sacrifice started in Gethsemane, it happened in the night, just like we're in the dark. This is not a process that happens in the sunlight because of how it affects the composition of the oil. And Christ went into the garden 3 times, coming out, each time asking if the cup could be taken from him because the pressure was getting more full. But on the third and on the final time, he said, "Father, thy will be done." And at one point in Luke, it says that it was as if great beads of blood, drops of blood were sweating from every pore of his body, as he alone did what only he, the master and savior of the world, could do. I've always loved that analogy. Gethsemane, the olive press, is what that means, the place where Christ was squeezed and put under tremendous pressure that even he alone, only the Son of God, was able to sacrifice his life for every one of us. One of the most beautiful sacrifices.
Hi. This is a reproduction of a synagogue that is exactly like the one that Jesus would have taught out of in Nazareth.
And that was confirmed by a professor that works at the BYU Jerusalem Center. A synagogue like this that he would have come into to begin his public mission and declaring that the scriptures that he read were fulfilled.